All right, you guys, today I'm going to be reading The False Story of Lifetimes by David L. Rice, illustrated by Michael S. Madyak. A lifetime for a mayfly is about one day. That's what a mayfly looks like. Adult mayflies, sometimes called dayflies, spend most of their one day of life laying thousands of tiny eggs in shallow water of mountain streams. If they didn't lay eggs that same day, there would be no more mayflies. When mayflies hatch, hungry trout and other fish snap them up by the hundreds. But no matter how many mayflies the fish eat, there are always enough left to lay more eggs. Mayflies have survived on Earth for over 200 million years. Mayflies teach us that a lot can be done in just one day. A lifetime for a butterfly is about 1 month. As they fly from flower to flower, sipping sweet nectar, butterflies brush against the pollen and carry some of it with them. By carrying pollen from flower to flower, butterflies make the seeds of plants fertile. Only fertile seeds can grow. When winter comes, all butterflies have to either migrate or hibernate. The monarch butterfly, which lives longer than most butterflies, migrates 2,000 miles to spend the winter in Mexico. Butterflies that hibernate make a chemical a lot like the antifreeze people put in cars to keep water from freezing. This antifreeze keeps them alive no matter how cold it gets. Butterflies show us it's possible to do important work and have fun at the same time. A lifetime for corn is 1 year. A corn plant grows from a seed and dies at the end of every growing season. Every kernel of corn is a seed. If people did not save the seed over the winter, there would be no corn crop the next year. People have been doing this without fail every year since the native people in Mexico started raising corn about 5,000 years ago. Corn is such a good and abundant food that it allowed Aztecs and Incas to live in cities and develop powerful civilizations. Columbus brought corn home to Europe with him from America, and soon corn was being raised throughout Europe, Africa, and Asia. Corn reminds us to plan for the future. A lifetime for an army ant is about 3 years. Army ants are famous for their ability to work together to accomplish amusing things. They march along like soldiers, sometimes a million at a time. Nothing can stop them. When they come to a river, they make an ant bridge of themselves to get across. If the river is very wide, they form large ant balls and float to the other side. Army ants eat mostly insects, spiders, and small animals, although they have been known to eat horses, cows, and given tigers that are tied up or caged. People who live in areas with army ants have to leave their homes for a day or two when the ants come marching through. When they return, their houses are completely free of rats, cockroaches, or other pests. Army ants show us that if everyone works together, we can do almost anything. A lifetime for a hermit crab is about 5 years. Hermit crabs are very good at taking action to make their lives better. Nature doesn't give them a shell for protection, so they find shells that are empty and recycle them. They use shells like motorhomes until the crabs get too big for them. Then they move into larger shells. Another neat trick of the hermit crab is to put a sea anemone on the top of its shell. The poisonous arms of the anemone keeps an octopus or squid from eating the crab for dinner. Since sea anemones can't move around very well by themselves, piggybacking on the crab is a special treat that allows them to find food as the crab moves along. Hermit crabs teach us that if we don't like something in our lives, we can often change it. They also show us that when we cooperate, everyone comes out ahead. A lifetime for an earthworm is about 6 years. Worms don't like light, so they stay underground most of the time. As they crawl through the ground, they loosen the soil and make it richer so plants will grow better. Some grassy fields have as many as 3 million worms in every acre. If you walked 3, 5, or 6 worms would be in the ground under your foot every step you took. As worms churn the ground, they make it higher, as much as 10 to 15 inches every 100 years. Scientists think this is how ancient cities became buried. Worms teach us that our work can be very important, even if it can't be seen. A lifetime for a Venus flytrap is about 18 years. Although most animals eat plants, the Venus flytrap is a plant that eats animals, mostly insects. At the end of the flytrap's leaves are hair-lined traps that give off a sweet nectar smell. When an unsuspecting insect lands in the trap expecting a treat, the trap snaps shut so fast that escape is impossible. For several days, the plant digests the insect, which provides the minerals it needs. Only one small area on Earth has just the right soil and weather for the flytrap to grow. So many Venus flytraps have been dug up and sold that they are in danger of becoming extinct. Venus flytraps remind us that things are not always as good as they first seem to be. A lifetime for an otter is about 20 years. Otters love to play. Some otters live in the ocean, where they jump and dive in and out of the water as they wrestle and chase each other. Other otters live in the mountains, where they spend hours sliding down slippery river banks or snowy hills. Sometimes families of otters follow the leader as they swim across a lake. Except for the leader, only the backs of the other otters are above water. Some people, seeing a head followed by several humps, have thought the otters were sea monsters. Otters show us that relaxing and having fun is an important part of life. A lifetime for an emperor penguin is about 20 years. It takes teamwork to raise a family near the South Pole. After the mother lays her egg on the ice, she walks many miles to the ocean to eat fish until she has thick layers of fat. The fat keeps her alive when there is no food to eat. During the 2 months she's gone, the father takes care of the egg. He carries it under a fold of skin on the top of his feet to keep it warm, and never gets to eat. The mother returns just after the egg hatches, her throat full of fish for the baby. Now the father walks to the ocean to eat and get fat. When he returns, they raise the chick together. Penguins show us how smoothly things work when mothers and fathers cooperate. A lifetime for a shark is about 25 years. Although sharks kill and eat almost any animal that comes close, there are some fish, like the pilotfish, that sharks actually help. The pilotfish swims near the shark's head for protection from its enemies, who don't want to get close to the shark. It also gets scraps from the shark's meals. No one knows why sharks don't eat pilotfish. Although most people fear them, sharks seldom bother humans. Each year, sharks attack about 30 people, of whom about 4 die. By comparison, each year dogs bite about 600,000 people in the United States, of whom about 20 die. Very few animals deliberately hurt people. Sharks remind us that there is some good in everyone. They also remind us not to believe everything we hear about someone. A lifetime for a vulture is about 35 years. Vultures are often seen circling around the sky. They soar in warm air currents, rising from the ground, seldom needing to flap their wings. As they circle, they look below for dead animals. By eating only dead and rotting animals, vultures prevent sickness and disease from spreading. One vulture, the California condor, is one of the most endangered animals in the world. There are only 60 left alive. If they die, the California condor will be extinct, gone forever. Vultures remind us that it's important to clean up messes. A lifetime for a chimpanzee is about 40 years. Chimpanzees are more like people than any other animal. They are very intelligent and are one of only a few animals who can make and use tools. For example, they use stones to crack nuts and leaves to wipe their sticky hands. Some chimps have even been taught to use computers and to understand and use words. Mothers carry their babies and take care of them for several years. Young chimps are very obedient and almost always do what their mothers tell them. If a chimp doesn't obey its mother, do you think she tells it to stop acting like a human? Chimpanzees remind us that we may not be as different from the animal kingdom as we sometimes think we are. The lifetime for a whale is about 45 years. Blue whales are the largest animals that have ever lived, even larger than dinosaurs. A fully grown blue whale is 100 feet long and weighs as much as 3,000 boys and girls. A blue baby whale is 24 feet long when it is born. Whales spend summers near the North and South Poles, where they eat tiny shrimp called krill. When the weather gets cold, they migrate to warmer water, often swimming thousands of miles. They playfully leap and dive as they swim to and from their winter homes. Many people love to whale watch. It is possible that whales people watch. For many years, people killed whales for food and oil. So many whales were killed that they almost became extinct. Countries finally passed laws to protect them. Although the number of whales is increasing, many are still being killed by pollution and from getting caught in fishing nets. Whales show us it's important to be large and still have beauty and grace. Sorry, guys. Whales show us it's possible to be large and still have beauty and grace. They also remind us that with nature, if we abuse it, we lose it. The lifetime for an African crocodile is about 50 years. Nile crocodiles are bothered by tiny animals that get on their skin and in their mouths. A bird called the Egyptian plover likes to eat these little animals. The crocodiles let the plovers land on their backs so they can eat the tiny pests. They even seem to open their mouths wider so the plovers, like overeager dentists, can hop right in. The croc could easily get a quick lunch, but no one has ever seen a crocodile eat a plover. Nile crocodiles remind us that everyone needs help from others sometimes.